Hey, so while I'm editing this video, it's the 21st. Mojang released 1.19.1 pre-release 1, and in that update, they're trying to add a chat filtration system and a report system that might be able to ban you from third-party servers. And, well, I hate this, okay? This is such a bad idea. It just really sucks to have something like this happening while I was working on a video trying to defend their actions in the 1.19 update. And I just hope there's a way around it, but because if it's like on Minecraft Bedrock, you'll be able to get fully banned from online Minecraft in general for saying things in chat on a server that you yourself might be the moderator of. So yeah, that doesn't seem very cool. On with the video. This is kind of bad news and I didn't expect to have to put this in, but I kind of do. So enjoy what was good about the update, because there's not much anymore. If you go on YouTube and search for the term Minecraft 1.19, these are some of the results you'll be greeted with. Videos like this, or the most extreme example, this one. Well, recently there has been quite a lot of backlash in the Minecraft community because of the newly released 1.19 Wild update. Mojang made quite a few mistakes with this one, from removing features to not going through with their promises and just an overall lack of communication and transparency with the community. And even if I agree with most of the complaints presented in the videos I exemplified earlier, I think the community has kinda missed their shot with the criticism, saying things that shouldn't be said or just using this recent situation to, well, exaggerate a bit of the situation when it's not as bad as people think it is, and I don't think the criticism is being targeted at the right problems. In this video, I will express some of my personal opinion on the situation, so please do not take me as absolute keeper of knowledge and answers. That's not what I'm striving to be in this video. This is just my way to show my opinion on something that I deeply care about in my life, which is this game and the whole community and world that surrounds it. Chapter 1. The actual mistakes of Mojang. First, I want to get it out of the way that yes, Mojang dropped the ball here, but not in the first way we might think. What I think that actually was done wrong with this update can be sorted into two things: the naming and how Mojang communicated us about the update. Okay, about the name. In October 2021, during the Minecraft live event, we got our first look into the Wild update that promised to finally add the warden that was missing from Caves and Cliffs Part 2, the new swamps, frogs, birch forests, and a bunch of new items. As it obviously states, it's meant to be an upgrade to Minecraft's wildlife and world. It's not supposed to focus on new technical aspects or maybe combat or things like that. It's a wild update. It implies we're getting biomes, mobs, new natural things. Something with a name like that. Could be anything, weather mechanics like wind or natural disasters even. Player conditions like freezing like we had in 1.17. And to make the world itself feel more alive, not just a place where you collect resources, but a place where animals and other beings actually live and react to the things going on it. And that idea was somewhat shown in the live event. Blocks that spread and infect a region of the world depending on mob activities. Animals that react to their environment and other cool things that generated a bunch of hype. And yeah, we got most of what was shown there, but right after we had the monumental leap that was Caves and Cliffs, something with the name Wild update. It sounded like it would be huge, just as big actually, and in the end it wasn't. The name wasn't a lie. I mean, we got new wild things in the game, and this premise was somewhat followed, but not anywhere near the scale of what the Nether update or Caves and Cliffs was. And that's why many people think that 1.19 is actually Caves and Cliffs Part 3. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad if we got only the Warden bundles, which by the way were also removed, the alley, goat horns, and left the swamps and birch forests and other things to 1.20. I mean, I know it sounds dumb to talk about the naming of something, but that's pretty basic in the art of selling and generating hype on a determined thing, and if it's a miss, it can and will have huge consequences. And the second thing, and it's even more of a major mistake, is how Mojang treated the backlash and changes in the original premise, saying things like concept art is not a commitment when they shown the birch forests. It's not just normal to show something to the general public, like they're not going to expect that to be part of the very thing you're presenting to them. Removing Firefly on a very, very dumb excuse that some types of fireflies are venomous to frogs, when they could simply remove the ability for frogs to eat them and give them some other use, or even none use. There's a bunch of mobs that don't do much, like the ocelot or polar bear. These two examples only exist to make the biomes more alive, and have barely any use in regular survival Minecraft. I also think this firefly situation is different than the parrot cookie one. For those of you who don't know, Mojang removed the ability to give cookies to parrots because in real life chocolate can be poisonous to birds. But the difference is, in that case, the player itself is giving the cookie to the animal, feeding it, and I understand that kind of reasoning. But seeing the frog eat a firefly would at best miseducate some people into thinking they actually do that. And also, they didn't remove cookies from the game back then, so why remove fireflies? They were literally 2 pixels. They're probably the easiest thing to implement in the whole update.
My favorite part of them is just making the world come to life, like feeling like there is life going on all around you. And
there are other smaller things, like when they said that all the biomes that lost the biome vote were going to be reworked and added. That tricked many people into thinking that it would be in the wild update. That wasn't very clear, was it? Also, one last thing, this is kind of a meme and it's been kinda done to death at this point, but I am actually mad that we got no news on archaeology. Come on, that will add so much life to the game's world. Doesn't that also ties pretty well with a wild update? I mean, like exploration, wild, I don't know, I just want to see that in the game, it looks so cool! Now, here are some reasons I think the community is missing the mark with this whole situation. I don't think that there's anything wrong with the update at a core level, and in sheer utility and potential of items, I say it's actually really good. I don't get why I see so many players saying the problem here is the items are useless, when they are clearly not. Too many people that play this game forget that it is literally the biggest game in the world. It's the most played and most sold game in the world, and it hasn't stopped growing. So I think arguments like, oh, the recovery compass is a bad addition because it's such a bad item for hardcore players, or goat horns have little to no use in single player and therefore are a bad item, are just wrong. No one knows what crazy, innovative ideas players in other niches of Minecraft will come up with. And even if you think these arguments are valid, then spyglass was always useless for players with Optifine. Lightning rods are useless to people that make underground blazes or play on multiplayer server. Copper is a straight up bad ore because you can't make tools for PvPers or armor and such. It doesn't make much sense, right? I know this is not a very big part of the criticism, but I have been seeing a lot of it. I don't think people are doing the right thing in criticizing the items in that manner, both because there are no actual bad items, and also because they don't know what future updates will bring to them. Yes, I am also mad with some of the things in this update, but please don't use this kind of arguments because it just ignores the true problem here, which is communication. I'm glad this type of argument wasn't as present in the English-speaking community, but here in the Portuguese language side of things, there's just a bunch of clickbait and fruitless complaining all around YouTube. Many YouTubers are criticizing the items. They're being like, wow, the 1.19 update is the worst thing ever. Chapter 3. What does this mean for the game in general? Now, here's the last main point I want to make in this video. I want to talk about the future impacts of this. Yes, I think Mojang needs to solve their communication and marketing problem, especially after this Reddit post. This is really poor communication. Come on, you're gonna censor the chat now? Just tell us what's gonna happen. I am empathetic enough to buy the excuse that we just got through one of the biggest medical collapses in human history, and that surely did significantly slow down their game development. And I also understand that even if they are owned by Microsoft, Mojang doesn't have thousands upon thousands of employees to run the literal biggest game in the world. But it still doesn't justify having misleading presentations in their live events or taking extreme decisions like removing features just to keep them from any type of controversy. Honestly, I just feel like Mojang is being more and more controlled by Microsoft each day. They're becoming like Microsoft and following Microsoft standards, but that might be of terrible impact to the company itself and maybe to the future of the game. And this is clearly generating a bunch of backlash, and it's clearly also not making the game better. Be honest, Minecraft is such a moddable game, no one's gonna stop saying bad words in chat because of this. All this thing does is say, look Microsoft customers, our game is family friendly and has a bunch of child protective systems. While we have been warned for years now that Mojang doesn't moderate player-run servers. That's what the huge freaking message in your screen says when you want to join a server in the modern versions of the game. We already are being warned about what's coming. There's no good reason to do this, and also there's no reason to make this as secretive and badly explained as it is. I wanted to end this video on a positive note. I still think the update is good. The content is cool and everything is fine, but this is a clear sign of something happening between the four walls at Mojang that will clearly do more harm than good. So please fix. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.